Hello and welcome to Classical Music on Mushrooms. This is a podcast where we explore all things unspoken in the classical music world. I'm excited to dive deep into taboo topics that are oftentimes shied away from or completely ignored in classical music spaces. So with that, let's get deep and have a good fucking time. Some people like to describe magic as spicy psychology, and that's kind of how I intend on approaching today's topic. In today's podcast, I will be discussing what manifestation is and providing some tips to make your dreams a reality in a way that is accessible to anyone regardless of their spiritual background. And before you roll your eyes and be like, what the fuck is this hippie bitch saying to me? Just hear me out. You are a powerful creator, and I want to talk about it. Also, you're looking really hot today, but that's off topic. So let's get straight into what manifestation is. So you might be asking yourself, what the fuck is manifestation and how does it work? Manifestation is drawing tangible things into your life through the power of your mind. These things can be feelings, experiences, objects, opportunities, anything. Oftentimes people manifest without knowing, and this is why recognizing and owning your power is so important, because the power of creation is within all of us. And if you're a musician, this is especially apparent in your life. Whether you're a classical musician interpreting compositions from the past or a songwriter in any capacity, you've experienced the beauty and also probably the frustration that comes with being an artist and creator. So, for manifestation to make sense logically, you have to understand these three concepts. Number one, that our perceived reality is not objective, meaning that the true nature of reality is unknowable to the human mind because we have limited senses to perceive the world around us, and we also have biases as well. Number two, that our perception of the world is malleable, meaning that if we change the way we see things and our belief systems, it can change the way we experience moments in our lives. And number three, that everything is vibrating at all times at the quantum level, especially that favorite vibrator of yours. Vibrators aside, the atoms that everyone and everything are made of are constantly in motion. This has to do with manifestation because there is this concept in physics called entrainment. Simply put, it's a tendency for two vibrating bodies to lock into the same frequency, and the weaker body's vibration will adjust to the stronger body's vibration. This concept can actually be observed at music concerts. To quote Ted Gioia, author of A Submersive History of Music, research has shown that our body's rhythms become synchronized with those around us during a musical performance. Brainwaves adjust to the rhythm of the music, as does respiration and pulse. So, if entrainment applies to things unseen to the human eye, such as sound waves and radio waves, it also applies to the vibrations that radiate from us. I like to call those vibrations by their scientific term, vibes. Yes, vibes, my dude. We all experience this. There are people that we naturally gravitate towards, and we have people that we are naturally repelled by. We can't really put our finger on it. We just have this feeling about it. Some might call it intuition or a gut feeling. Either way, it's there even if we try to ignore it. So, with all of this in mind, the idea is that we can shape our reality by shifting our beliefs and inner dialogue so that we can vibrate at the same level of our desired reality, and therefore attract it to us. Regardless of whether this concept resonates with you or not, I hope these mindset tips discussed later in this podcast allow you to live a more positive and fulfilling life. Now that we have a better understanding of what manifestation is and how it works, let's go through some disclaimers before we get into the nitty-gritty of some practices we can do to make our dreams a reality. Firstly, be very mindful of what you're asking for. The universe is listening. I have kind of a funny example that helped me learn this lesson the hard way. I did a manifestation practice for money once, and I had an exact amount in mind, but the thing was, later that day, while a friend and I were driving, we got hit by a drunk driver. Everyone was okay, but the craziest part about this story is that the settlement I got for this accident was the exact amount that I asked for in my manifestation practice earlier that day. But now my neck is going to be a little wonky probably forever. So in my opinion, and this is just my opinion based on my own experiences, you can do whatever you want, but it may be safest to avoid manifesting material things because oftentimes lessons come along with those material things gained. But I can also see the perspective that those things and those lessons might be super important for an individual to recognize what's really important in their life. So with that in mind, just be wary of your superpowers. It's also important to realize that manifestation applies to negative outcomes as well. And no, I'm not one of those people that believes that when shitty things happen to us, it's somehow our fault because we willed it into existence. That's not what I'm implying here. I more so bring this up to have the opportunity to discuss limiting beliefs that we hold for ourselves and how those limiting beliefs can manifest unfavorable outcomes in our lives. Limiting beliefs look like, I will never become a successful singer. I'm not unique enough. I'm not knowledgeable enough to start my own business, or no one will take me seriously if I start a podcast. It usually comes down to, I can't do XYZ because I fear failure. Individuals with deep-seated beliefs like this are significantly less likely to manifest success in their musical endeavors. Limiting beliefs often prevent individuals from taking that first leap outside of their comfort zone to achieve the thing because there's that fear there. So this brings us to the first step of manifestation, and that is identifying our limiting beliefs and getting to the root of that belief. I'm going to walk you through a personal example so that you can tailor this concept to your own situation. For the longest time, I didn't think I could write music. I had the belief that since I'm a classical singer, my role is interpreting music that's already been written. But this belief changed in a split second, and all it took was some random dude I met by chance to ask me a simple question. When I told him I didn't write music, he asked, "Why not?" Why not? So when I got the chance to ponder this question after we inevitably fucked, I concluded that the only reason I didn't write music was because of the limiting belief that I stated before. And from there, I was able to dissect it, and it led to questions like, why am I limiting myself to one facet of musical expression? It was because I was led to believe that about myself through my classical training. It was embedded in me. Through my pondering, I also found out that I was afraid of going outside my comfort zone, like a lot of us can probably relate to. The deeper and deeper I went to find the root of my limiting belief, I discovered that the root was fear. I feared things like rejection, embarrassment, failure, and the unknown.